list.
Yeah.
Holy cow, we're live. This took forever. I want to cry. I kind of want.
You want to cry?
It's been. I don't know what it is with like. Look, why make the guy that when he touches technology it breaks be the tech guy? I think this was like, it's like the Simon Pegg character, but everything he touches turns to shit. That's me.
Yes.
I'd be basically Nick Frost. I'd be the opposite of Simon Pegg.
How does he still get to be the tech guy?
It's weird because wasn't
Ving Rhames is the tech guy too.
Ving Rhames the tech guy.
So it's weird.
They're
Two tech guys. They're two tech guys. It's weird.
But I guess Ving can also be the muscle. I don't know.
Yes.
But guess what we're talking about, guys?
We're on a mission. If you should choose to accept, we're to take you on a journey.
Wait, let me get this.
Let
me cue this up here. You do the intros with this music. You ready?
Oh, it was intros?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. You keep going with your mission. Go
Oh,
ahead.
yes.
Restart that. I'm going to hit the music now.
We have a mission. If you choose to accept it, come on a journey with us. On this live stream, a dangerous live stream, as we rank the villains and the movies of the Mission Impossible series. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
That's good. Now we're gonna pivot. Here we go. Intro time.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone in the 24 time zones on planet Earth. Welcome to the most impossible, most dangerous, but most ready live stream on YouTube. It is Rumbo Pop. Now I'm going to quickly introduce to you my co-hosts and co-conspirators. First, the madman to my left. He is from the great state of Ohio. He is Bruce Campbell's #2 fan. He is one of the 10 most desirable men in Los Angeles, California. Ladies and gentlemen, he's always socially lubricated. He is the original Don!
Tip your waitresses.
Yes, indeed. Tip those waitresses.
I didn't mean to get another applause, but I guess I'll take it. Whatever. Thanks, guys.
Next, we go to a special, talented man from that great state of Oklahoma, from that righteous city of Tulsa. He is one of the greatest independent filmmakers and a multiple award-winning actor. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Oklahoma heartthrob. He is Mr. The Full Monty Hunter.
Oh, thank you.
Next, we go to a man who was on our live stream last year when it was just known as the Real Shrimp Box live stream.
It's been a bit.
It's been a bit. He is a man who is a man of real genius. He's a man who is considered one of the top 10 sexiest Cuban men in Miami, Florida. He is a man of great pop culture knowledge and intrigue. Give it up again for Mr. Frank Rodriguez. And last but not least, he is a real man from the great city of Gridley, a small city in Northern California. He is a man's man. He is one of the great actors working in the film industry today. He has many various credits. Give it up for a man who's judicious, but always jolly. He is Mr. Jed Bo!
All right. Thanks for being on, Jed. Thanks for being on, Frank. Monty.
Thanks for inviting me, guys.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
And of course, I am your humble podcaster, the Grand Master of the Jedi and Vulcan Arts, your Supreme Chancellor, Brother Kevin. Let's get to
I
it.
still don't know how you do that with that little ding noise.
It's amazing.
It just automatically happens.
It's incredible. It just happens out of the blue. You know what?
I don't get it.
It must be AI technology. It just does it out of the blue. Oh my goodness.
Too soon.
Hello, Monica. Good to see you.
Who is that?
Monica, Sister Monica.
Oh, what's she doing on here?
Hello, Sister
is she
Maria.
Drunk?
It's
Is she getting
cheating.
on
No,
drunk
she's not
again?
drunk. Hello, Sister Maria. Hello, Brother Gerald.
You know, the chat that's in here.
Hello, everybody. Thanks
Hello,
for
everybody.
joining.
All right, I'm going to send you the link, Frank. Give me a moment.
Let me just
Thanks.
explain something really quickly. We intended very well to run very slim and trim on this one, like fast in and out, like a Mission
Fast and
Impossible type
Furious.
of thing, you know? That's what I wanted. That's what I envisioned for this podcast. But NDI, Skype,
Microsoft.
Skype decided to update in the middle of the night, not saying anything to me, so I had no idea that it updated.
Evil.
And then got rid of the NDI edition, which is how we communicate with the other program, which is how we run this platform for the live show. So without knowing that, it's just kind of a, oh crap, why can't I pull up everybody else? I can see them in Skype, but I can't pull them up in this other program. So I have to search and try to find it and stuff. It is hell. It is pure hell. I think I did all right time-wise, though. It took me, 10 minutes?
10
or so
minutes,
to
10
get it back
minutes.
up and running. Which isn't bad, but in the live stream world, that's ages. That's like a nightmare. And like now, what it's doing is this program that's connecting is not allowing me to post our logos up on the
I
screen.
think you're putting Frank to sleep.
Which is
Wow.
Just
Wow.
a little while.
Wow, that's
which
messed
is
up.
Oh.
Well, he's on
super
that beach.
frustrating
He's
with
on that beach. He's taking a nap.
I am. I'm on the beach. Yeah.
He's
Okay.
Well,
Just
well,
let me
then
have
down.
I send this to
and,
somebody else.
and it froze, I think is what happened. I think.
How in the world do I send this link to another person?
Oh,
here.
just press the copy and paste, brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it says copy here. All right, I'm gonna send it to my friend. Cool.
There you go.
All right, we're good.
Nice. All right, let me pull up the logo here. All right, so we are talking Mission Impossible stuff, right? This
Yes,
is
we
going to
are.
be a lot of fun, I
A
think.
franchise that has spanned now 27 years. Going
Wow.
back to the late 1990s when most of us were teenagers or even younger. In some cases, in our diapers when it first started.
Oh, jeez.
Is 1996 considered late 90s or still mid 90s?
You know, it's both. Mid-90s and late 90s. Like 94, 95,
It
96.
can't be both, Kevin. It can't fucking be both. Which is it?
Wow,
Dang.
brother, the language. My goodness, sir.
Good Lord.
Sir,
Oh,
my
I'd say
goodness.
mid. I
Or is
graduated
this
high school in
supposed to be a
'96,
PG-13?
so I'm gonna say mid.
My
Or maybe
goodness.
late.
See, thank you.
The language.
Yeah.
My goodness.
You better.
Your mother's going to wash your mouth out with soap, man.
I've heard you guys. I've heard you guys just in the last several minutes say so much worse. So much.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Oh,
Boom! Look at that big ass can I put up on the screen. This is how my day's going. Look at that big ass can, guys.
Good Lord.
Woo, that's a giant can.
That's a real man.
That's a giant can of whoop ass.
That's a man's
that,
can.
That Monty wants to open up on you, Kevin.
That's a man's can, sir.
Get your fucking shit straight, is what he's saying.
Monty, are you challenging me, sir, to a fisticuffs over this topic?
Potty mouth McGee over here wants to punch you in the face.
I say
don't
let's
blame
go
him.
old school. How about a sword duel?
Actually, even better. Let's go Aaron Burr, Alexander Hamilton duel.
There we go.
Oh yeah, get the old pistols and
Yes, yes.
the 10 paces and the.
Hey, you know what? John Wick 4 did that.
This is all a big success here. Monica says hi from me, Solomon, and Rob. Oh, Rob's watching too.
Yeah.
What are you all doing together? Why weren't we invited?
Because they have things to do, man.
together.
you say Rob
without us.
Together.
So rude.
When you say Rob, are we talking like Rob Antis, like
Of
the
course.
Antis man?
Of course.
Yes,
Rob.
we're talking Rob.
Hi,
Rob.
Rob.
I just pulled up an old picture of us on my phone.
What are you guys doing?
Well, it's not that old, actually. It's from your birthday, from when we went to Universal, right? When we went on the Flight of the Hippogriff ride.
oh wow.
That's Rob there. If you can
Good
see him.
times.
Probably not very clear, but you can kind of see him.
Yeah.
And then there he is in front of the train in Harry Potter land.
Did you guys have that honey beer or mead, whatever the hell it was? What's that called?
Butterbeer?
Yeah.
Butter
Did
beer.
you have that?
Nah, because it's not alcoholic for starters.
What's the point then? What's
Right.
the point?
You have to go to the bar. You have to go to the bar, get the butterbeer, pay regular price of the butterbeer, right? And then you have to buy I want to say it's an $18 shot. An $18 shot that you mix with it. So the drink ends up being like $20-some, I think, or something.
$20-something dollars.
Something silly. It's pretty expensive. It's like
Like
So you
Vegas
just
prices.
bring in a flask?
Yeah, smart.
They do. I mean, you could probably sneak in like a bottle of like one of those small little shots of liquor in your shoe or something. You could probably do that.
Well,
or
I mean, then just take
plenty
your
of space
beer,
in
your
his
butter beer,
butthole.
take it into the toilet, right to the bathroom. They can't follow you in there, right?
Well, no, I mean you got to go through the metal detector right at the beginning before you even get into the park. So they'll check your bag if you have a bag or anything like that. So
That's not
I'm
very.
sure there's clever ways
That's
around
not very
it.
Hogsmeade authentic, man. I don't recall any
Well, that's just to get
freaking
into
metal
Universal.
detectors and stuff.
They don't do it once you go into the separate places, but Universal, they definitely do it. Really quickly, again, just thank you all for being a part of this, but I do want to still do a quick little segment. What's the segment's name, Kevin?
Is it
Is it called
Donald's Pulls Out?
Yeah, I talk about comics. Here we go. Segment now.
So sad.
It's the best. I love it so much. All right, so it's comic time, guys. We have to always relate our podcast back to comics on one way or the other. I read some books over the weekend. I read quite a few, so I'm going to be very brief on a lot of these. Boy, was this a shit week for comics. Unfortunately, a lot of this was really bad that I read. This came out a couple weeks ago, Magician's Rabbit. It's okay, but it doesn't give me enough to tell me where we're going with this. Basically, it's one of those spy thrillers where like he gets this USB drive or something, and it's like there's something on here you need to know about, and then it ends. But the whole thing is just we just get to meet him once, and that's it. And so we don't even barely know anything about this character. Not enough for me. Not enough. So I don't know if I'm going to revisit this one. I can't recommend it because I don't know anything. Western Theater Witch Trial. Okay, but I don't want to read anymore. So Western Witch Trial, Western Theater Witch Trial, Midnight Western Theater Witch Trial from Scout Comics. Not going to do it again. I think I'm done with that. So moving on to that. We've got Mashbone and Grifty. Look at this guy. This guy's name is Mashbone. He's the head detective of this detective agency of him and this guy named Grifty. What I don't get is why the guy has a giant bone through his ears and why he's looked like he's a caveman. They giant hobbit feet. They don't explain it. I don't understand it. The story's not bad, but I can't stop staring at this dumbass that's the lead detective and understand why anybody would talk to him when he looks the way he looks. It's hard to get around. The story's not bad though. I may give it another go, but again, if you don't have the extra money, don't get it. That's another Scout comic. I think they're just putting out whatever you can throw against the wall. Here's a turd. Savage Squad 6. Boy, this is terrible. This was written by Robert Venditti, who normally is a fantastic writer. He wrote Green Lantern.
Green Lantern after Jeff Johns.
Well after Jeff Johns picked it up. And it took him a while to make it his own, but he did a stellar job. This is not very good. It's about an all-female elite killing squad trying to fight oppression in a futuristic world that's basically Mad Max-esque, Road Warrior type. I can't recommend it. It's just not good. I can't recommend it. Here's another piece of crap. Night Terror's Ravager. No, there's nothing in here. Nothing at all. She gets scared. That's the whole goddamn story. She gets scared, guys. Done. I'm over it.
It is called Night Terror.
I get it. And here's where this comes from. Night Terror's First Blood from DC Comics. It's okay. I just wish I had gotten more or cared about what's happening. This just seems like a summer fling where you know how it's going to end and you still do it anyway. So if you have extra money, grab it. If you don't, okay. And the only supremely good book out of the entire run of books I read actually today from Top Cow Comics, Top Cow Productions, Antarctica, #1. It's about a girl that loses her dad. He just disappears. She ends up on the streets. She kind of finds a father figure in a cafe owner who helps her out, and she starts to go back to school via his pushing her to do so, to become like a mechanical engineer, and in which she does this in order to try to find out what really happened to her father in Antarctica. It's heartbreaking. It's unique. Not many comics will make you tear up. This is one of them. Antarctica, I can't recommend this enough. So go find this at your local comic shop. I'm sure We Can Be Heroes in Chatsworth, California has a copy. Highly recommend it. It's great. And this has been another edition of Donald Pulls Out. There we go. All right, moving on. It's time for some rankings. Let's play a little jazzy music here, where we kind of get in the feel of what we're going to do. So basically, we're all going to be, if we wish. Not everybody has to do this, but I know Monty has created a rankings list. Kevin has created a rankings list. I have a very loose list, and I'm going to pepper in on their rankings as discuss. Because these movies are like 5 hours long each, and it's hard
5 hours long.
within a week to watch all these films, guys. It's really hard. So I got to see a good bit of the films, or parts of some, and so on and so forth. And I've seen them all, trust me. But rewatching some of it, I realized what aspects I missed and now enjoy, what aspects I saw before and still hate, and what aspects I loved and enjoyed revisiting. So all that's going to be illuminated should you decide to accept this mission. Yes,
indeed.
We've got a few people commenting here. Monica says, Rob says, hi, Monty. Oh, that's nice. Big Sean checked in. He says, wasn't the female commando thing done better in FemForce, I think, by Image? FemForce was not Image, I don't believe. FemForce, I think you're thinking of a different thing, because FemForce is like a different company that wasn't Image for sure. And they're still going, actually, Sean. I think they're at issue 200 or something, which is a supreme accomplishment for a very, very small independent company like that that created a comic, FemForce. So, it's not good, Big Sean, but I do recommend this one, Antarctica, if you can grab it. I know we still had like 6 or 7 copies at the shop, so if you want it in your pulls, just let me know, and I'll contact Elvin or something and have him throw it in there for you, so you can read it and see if you like it. I think it's fantastic. It's really heartbreaking and wonderful on the same breath. So Mission Impossible films. Now, overall, I think it was, I can't remember what we're watching. We're in a theater. And I leaned over to Kevin, and the trailer for the 7th film, the 7th Mission Impossible, what's it called?
Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Dead Reckoning Part 1. When that showed, I leaned over to Kevin and I said, at what point can we have the conversation that the Mission Impossible films are now better than the James Bond?
We could have that conversation about a decade ago.
Like, at what point can we say this? Because I'm astounded with some of the stuff that they were able to pull out of their hat with some of these things, and the things that they were able to do just kind of blew me away. When we look at Mission Impossible, of course we think Tom Cruise, and then everybody automatically thinks of the first one where everybody was kind of killed, and it was just kind of
a controversy.
Very controversial, and you either loved it, hated it, or neither, and you just never bothered to watch it because you didn't want to watch it.
But it certainly set the tone right off the bat.
It really did.
Right.
You have no idea what might be coming at any time, basically.
Right. I think why everybody was angry with the first one was that Mr. Phelps, and we're not talking David, Mr. Phelps was
in the original TV series.
The original guy in the TV series. He was the hero of the show. And they decided to make him a villain. They decided him to ultimately turn on the
heel.
program that he had spent season after season saving the world, and then now decides to profit from that. It just seemed like not like the character that we had grown to love over the years. So anybody that didn't know anything about Mission Impossible might enjoy it more than somebody that was really in love with the characters from the TV series. I think what you're saying, Monty, rings true, that they definitely wanted to set precedents, and they wanted to say, this ain't your mama or your papa's Mission Impossible.
Right.
This is a brand new bag. Ethan's our guy, and we're going with him through the whole thing. Forget about anything else.
Back to your point, though, for those of us that had kind of grown up, on the rerun, in our case, because we're not that friggin' old, I hope, that grew up on like the reruns of the old. Donald and I are the same age, Kevin, so you can't,
Ooh.
put us
Okay.
through that.
Well, Kevin's older than I am.
I think it's like Kevin and I are gonna have we're gonna have to have a very serious conversation apparently. One of these days, next time we meet. But no,
Cans of whip ass.
Yeah,
Cans of whip ass.
Kevin's getting his ass beat.
But what's easy for me to say? I'm half a country away, right? So I can throw out that smack talk. But no. What I was saying is, damn it, Kevin, you made me lose my train of thought. But anyway, so the thing is, I just remember. Okay, so having grown up on the reruns and everything like that, I was very excited about Mission Impossible 1. And the whole Phelps turning out to be the bad guy, the main baddie, and it just was kind of like, it hurt a little bit. I'm like, even though, I was old enough when the movie came out in '96 to be like, wait a second, what is going on? So I didn't agree with that whole twist, but it would have been better, honestly, because he basically fakes his death. He gets shot on the bridge and everything. It would have been honestly better if it was legit. Phelps was assassinated.
Right.
During that first mission, along with all the rest of the team, would have been better, right? More powerful than him just turning out to be a bad guy that's just greedy and hates his country now.
He's kind of like the Ned Stark. It could have made him like the Ned Stark of Mission Impossible, like a man who served. It was a righteous man, and he got taken out.
That would have been good. That would have been, yeah.
Would have been better.
Yeah.
What's your take, Brother Jed?
For Mission Impossible 1 or my favorite one? Which question you want? What do you want from me?
Just the thing with Phelps. You agree with the Jim Phelps?
Well, okay, yeah. So like, I remember growing up as a young kid, my parents told me about the original, from the late '60s, early '70s, and then in the early '90s, there was a whole rejuvenation of the one with the main dude with the white hair, Phelps, and for him to turn, that was kind of like almost an easy, obvious, twist. You think they could have done something else, but oh well. But remember, this is a movie, not a TV show, and they knew that this was going to be a transition, so they had to kind of, I don't want to say dumb it down, but like get it more to the masses, to get it more easily palatable to eat while watching it in the movie theaters. You know what I'm saying? But like what Monty said, I want to echo. Yeah, it really set the precedence to like be ready for this. You don't know what's going to happen. It's a roller coaster of emotions. So yeah, I think number one, and of course it was in 1996. So of course they didn't, CGI, all that other stuff wasn't tip top, and the stunts were great. But I personally, I think that, yeah, I give it like a C plus. That first episode or that first installment.
That's fair. I mean, plus you can't expect Peter Graves to, do backflips and crazy stunts on helicopters either.
Mm-hmm.
No, very true. Of course. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
That they offered Peter Graves to come back and do it. But when
Monty, it's a little hard to hear you. You're a little light right now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you a little better. Sorry, it sounds like there's something like a boom mic swaying in the breeze while we talk. I don't know where that's coming from.
Turn off the air conditioning.
It's Frank's Beach. Frank's
There
got
was a
some.
fan that was turned on, so I had to turn it off.
Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe. I think it's still going, whatever it is. I can still hear it, yeah.
You can still hear something? Okay, well, it's because I got the wall unit turned on.
Oh, it might not be you. If you guys just want to mute your mic in between when you're talking, that's fine too. You can always do that on Skype.
Let's see if I can do that here.
Yeah.
Copy.
All right, let me pull up a real quick couple comments while we wait. Mr. Sean says the Ethan Hunt character, I think is what he meant. Not
Yes.
Ethan Hunt, was fine, but having Phelps turn was lazy storytelling. De Palma had done better and has done better since. Maria says, good points, but if the whole movie is about a mole hunt, shouldn't the mole be someone we are familiar with to be effective? Then it's a better twist than someone you've just been introduced to.
Yeah, it's a good argument.
She's
Good argument.
not wrong.
Good argument.
I'm starting to think it's me. Is it? No? It's like somebody's rolling around with their mic on.
But you know what, brothers? Let's start. What we should do? Rank the villains first or rank the movies first?
Let's just rank the movies and hurry up.
All right, let's rank the movies. So
Our mission is to get in and get out.
all right, to pull out. There you go.
Ah!
Oh, there we go. Oh my goodness.
Yep. All right.
Let's start with our guests. Let's start with brother.
Well, let's have Monty throw out his list.
Yeah, brother
Yeah.
Monty.
Yeah.
Start. Well, let's just start with like your worst one. What's the one you have ranked at the bottom?
Oh,
Oh yeah, probably.
but that was no trouble too.
Monty, can't hear you still.
Hang on.
Do you have a fan or something blowing on your mic by chance? No? Because you sounded fine before. It's just really hard to hear you now.
We hit mute here.
Oh crap!
Taking out the headphones.
Okay,
Better?
maybe that's what it is.
Well, keep going.
Yeah, talk.
Better?
Yeah, much better.
But now I can barely hear you guys.
Well, we don't really need to be heard so much right now, so you go ahead and talk.
All right, hang on.
We'll listen.
Okay. Let me try it with one headphone. I don't think that's going to make a difference, but so what I was saying was,
does.
okay, so Mission. What?
It does. We can hear you really well.
Ah, damn it. Go figure. Anyway, so yeah, Mission Impossible 2, it's the worst. And you're talking about how they're all like 5 hours long. Mission
Jesus.
Impossible was like the shortest.
No,
But
was it? Because it felt like the longest. It was 20
Well, no,
minutes
no.
of him trying to woo that girl.
What I was saying was,
Head recruiter.
is that it was the shortest movie of the bunch, but it could have been like, I don't know, 90 minutes shorter,
Yeah.
despite the fact that it's a 2-hour movie. Like, I just, cut about 90 minutes off of it'd be great.
Yeah, it was really
Just
bad.
do a whole damn movie with slow-mo dubs.
And also,
like,
Tom Cruise doing
few minutes.
backflips and somersaults and all kinds of crazy martial arts kicks. That's wild.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, the fighting stuff and on the motorcycle chase and everything like that, and that's all cool. Don't get me wrong, but
Also, that movie in production ran such a long time that poor Dougray Scott missed out on becoming Wolverine. You know he hates John Woo. with a passion.
Okay. So let's touch on this for a moment. Dougray Scott, right?
Yes.
Dougray Scott.
Love that guy.
I watched him in a few things lately,
Okay.
and I feel like. Okay, so here's my thoughts on this. I don't mean to bash the guy, but it just seems like he's phoning in performances lately, or he's not getting the right material. I don't know.
like, did you see him in Batwoman?
Yes, I did, and it was awful. And I don't know. So seeing that makes me think that maybe
Things
this
worked out the
out.
way it worked out the way it needed to.
Jed, go ahead.
I have a question. Okay.
Sure.
So I've been doing the acting thing here in LA for about 18 years, and I've seen a lot. And actors do different takes, different choices and stuff every different take. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And who's the final decider of, okay, we'll use this take. This was good. We're going to put this in. You know what I'm saying? So, I see these actors that have these terrible performances, but I'm thinking like, maybe they had better takes, but who chose to put that in? The director, the editor? Like, come on, guys. They could have put our boy, Doug Gray could have done something, better scenes or better, takes. But at the end of the day, it's the director that chooses to put that one in, and the editor, right? I mean,
Right.
So it's
That's
one of those
true.
things.
Well,
Maybe
Right?
he
I don't
parked
know.
the editor's parking spot one too many times.
Well, yeah. I mean, Maria's right. Maria says the studio has the final say. But here's the thing, though. Like, I would also think, just a thought, as like if I was developing my name and people started to know who I was and stuff, and maybe I wanted to have the best scenes chosen for me and stuff, maybe I show up to where, and I don't know, maybe it's not possible, but maybe I show up or send a gift to the post team, you know?
Yeah.
And
Boom.
say, hey,
Exactly.
thank you guys for being a part of our team here. I look forward to working with you. Can't wait to see what you're
Take
going
him out
to
to
do.
dinner.
Yeah, well, give 'em a gift card or something. You know what I mean? Like
Chipotle. Forget about it.
Sweeten it just a little bit to where when they're pulling the clips in and stuff, they're thinking, "Huh, maybe you know what? Maybe I'll pull that one in instead." You know, because I'm not saying that there's a laziness involved with that, and certainly not. I'm just saying sometimes the studios, especially the execs, create situations where an editor isn't given an enough amount of time,
They're rushed.
or
Right.
they do have enough time, they choose the correct scenes, and they're nixed because some higher up's cousin, producer's cousin or something says, nah, I don't like that one, you know, and then they have to change it.
And that's
There's
wrong.
so many working parts to that, but I feel like the sweetening thing is not a bad idea. I still think
Yeah.
that's a good idea to create
Smart.
some form of cohesion, at least within the team that's involved, or, you know, on the ground floor, so to speak.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
All right, Kevin. By the way, you owe me a sandwich.
Okay.
I got this podcast running
Yes.
today, so you gotta sweeten it a little bit.
Fair
right?
enough. Fair enough.
See, that was my whole thing. I just wanted to get a sandwich. That's the whole story.
All right. Thank you. That's fine. I'll take care of it.
All right.
Brother Jed, what's your? Would you agree is part 2 your worst one of the series, or do you have another one that's at the
Yes. It was so bad, I don't even remember it. It's how bad it is. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
Monty, come on. You hit it and you nailed it. It was almost, you know, it's always tough doing those sequels. You know, especially when you know you're going to have a franchise. You want to do the best you can, but of course there's difficulties when it comes to production and maybe actors that you want to bring in, or that due to scheduling conflicts and whatnot. But yeah, that was my least favorite. That second one for sure.
I think I told you guys before we were on. It's like it's so bad that like when I did the marathon of movies in preparation to watch Dead Reckoning Part 1, and then for this, I completely skipped Part 2 altogether.
Yeah,
I went from 1 to 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yes, I have a question about Mission Impossible 2. Wasn't there a fight scene between Tom Cruise and Douglas Scott where wild kicks were thrown?
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, there's like a double what do you call it in wrestling? Drop kick that Tom Cruise did on Douglas Scott. It was just ridiculous. And of course, the motorcycle stuff is cool, but again, they come together and they jump off their motorcycles at the same time and go at it. Yeah, it was silly. I mean, it's cool, but silly at the same time.
Out of place for
Yeah.
a movie that people wanted to take seriously.
Right, especially after the first one. It was just way out there.
yeah.
The tone was completely different than the first one.
Mhm.
Like utter opposite of the first one, really.
And Miss Maria, she's absolutely right. There's editor's cut, a director's cut, a producer's cut, and then of course the studios and the marketing people sometimes have a say. So yeah, that's why unfortunately a lot of movies these days, a lot of these blockbusters do kind of suck because you have too many hands in a cookie jar.
Yep. They do all the test marketing audiences. Like, what did you think about this one? Did you guys like this opening? Did you hate this opening? And you get the market research. Okay, great, but are they really pulling like good, proper like movie lovers, or just knuckleheads off the street that can't tell their ass from a hole in the ground? I'm just saying. Sorry, pardon my French. I apologize.
And yes, Maria and Gerald, you're correct. Sometimes you try to make someone look good with the footage you have, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. Very true. So, Frank, I guess in this case you'll probably agree with us in this case that part 2 is probably the worst of the movies. So next,
it veered off course, and thankfully with the other movies they got back on course.
Yes, indeed, and that's why we're going to go to the next one on our list. Monty, what do you consider the second worst of the Mission Impossible series? In other words, we'll say, the 5th or 6th.
See, now I'm
trying
to kind of remember what my list. Maybe I should have written it down, but I'm trying to think. Okay, so obviously there's Mission Impossible 2. It's like I would say below that.
Well, above that, you mean?
Next, yeah.
I mean, yeah, above that, I would say, and this would probably be very controversial, but I would say the next one, okay, so but above that was, if I remember my list correctly, was like Mission Impossible, I think. And
Yeah,
that's
me too.
probably very,
Me too.
very
Ditto. The first.
Me
Yeah.
too. The first one. Yeah,
Yep.
the first two are the worst ones, in my opinion. I agree. First two are the worst ones. I put the first one in 1996.
But I think my reasoning was, as it's already been laid out by everybody, which is the whole Phelps twist.
Right.
Just really turned me off.
Yeah.
Walking out, the movie and everything, and because other than that, I mean, it was all right, And
Gene Reno's cool.
Jean Reno's always cool.
Jean Reno's cool.
Yeah, he's always cool.
And Kit Ridge.
But yeah, Kit
Henry
Ridge,
Czerny, yeah.
Yeah, who they decided to wait 27 years to bring back. Like, what's he been up to for almost 3 decades?
wait, he's been in a lot of movies. He was in that horror movie that came out a few years back.
No, he's in movies. I'm not saying the actor Henry Czerny. I'm talking about Kittredge.
Kittredge. Well, he's busy. He's been busy.
I guess. What he's been busy doing is kind of like we were talking about. It's like the worst job is being like the head of the IMF. Like you might as well have a target on your back.
No, they probably moved him to the positions.
He knew it.
Yeah,
he's all like, that's where he's been for the last 27 years, not being the head of the IMF.
Yeah, they probably moved to a different position.
Like his colleagues.
All right.
Basically.
All right, this is good. We can all agree that the next one above that is the first one. Okay, so now let's go above that then. What is the next one on the list above the first two that we now agree are the worst?
Maybe 6. What do you guys think?
Whoa, brother.
Or 4.
Personally, for me, I say Mission Impossible 3. What about you, Monty?
I agree. I concur, Kevin. Mission Impossible 3. That's where it found its legs, I think.
That's where it became a team. That's where it finally started becoming a team.
Finally, yes. A team, and the story, it kind of like we're going to have the crazy action, everything like that of 2. We're going to have some of the tone and a lot of some different twists and turns like 1 did. So they kind of did like an amalgamation of different aspects of what worked. They kind of were like, okay, let's get rid of what didn't work in 1 and 2. Let's take the best aspects of 1 and 2 and finally make a friggin' Mission Impossible movie that people can get behind and be like, okay, all right.
And
I like this.
And also, if I agree, the first villain that we had, I thought was actually truly menacing.
Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, God rest his soul. Owen Davian.
Wait till we get to the villains ranking. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, to me, he was one of the. I mean, of course, number 3. It was like once when he was number 3 was crazy, and but Philip Seymour Hoffman was so maniacal and so crazy. He was almost like the same character of, remember The Talented Mr. Ripley? Mm-hmm. And he was in there with Jude Law, who was the buddy, the friend. It was like that same guy that grew up, but then got his heart broken several times over, and then just turned into this mean mofo. Here he is now. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to become a black market arms dealer that menaces everybody he comes into contact with. Yeah. It's like somebody hurt him. Like, who hurt you? Just want to take him to this. You just want to take him and hug him and be like, "Who hurt you?"
And also,
what was her name? What was her name,
Davian? What was her name?
And also, Davian carried out his threats. Well, he wasn't. He meant business. When they captured him, he meant business.
I think my favorite Philip Seymour Hoffman role was in Boogie Nights.
All right, that's a good one.
Oh yeah,
it's just such a great character.
That's a good one. Brother Gerald,
he came a long way. It came a long way. You forget that when he did Mission Impossible 3, just a mere decade early, and this was even before Boogie Nights and all that, a mere decade before Mission Impossible 3, he was playing a goofy bastard in Twister, in the movie Twister.
Oh yeah,
he was part of the team, part of the weather team kind of thing, and whatever crew, and it completely. That's how you know he was. And again, rest his soul. He was such a great actor. It's like night and day. His character in Twister versus 10 years later, his character in MI3. It's like completely different person.
Yeah.
By the way, they're making a sequel to Twister called Twisters, and I'm not kidding. They are actually making a sequel.
Filming it. No, they're filming it here in Oklahoma as we speak.
Wow.
My friend accidentally walked onto a set. He thought it was a real convenience store. He did. He thought it had been an abandoned convenience store. He's like, oh, they must have renovated it and reopened it because he saw people moving around inside or whatever, and he was traveling or whatever. He's like, I'm going to stop in, get a drink, get a snack, whatever. He makes it to the door, and behind him, somebody barks out. It's like, hey, you! Hey, buddy, you're on a film set. He turns around, and he's like, what? Whatever. Comes to find out, yeah, it's Twister 2.
Wow.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Twisters.
Yes.
They're doing the whole alien thing. We're
Yes.
just going to, it's not going to be Twister 2. It's going to be plural. Twisters.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and isn't
actually
Helen
filming.
Hunt in that movie?
No, she's not coming back, and I'm not brokenhearted about it. I've had to work on a couple things. No, anyway, so I'm not brokenhearted about it. So
sorry.
anyway, it's supposed to be, apparently it's about her daughter, but you know who is in it as well? Glenn Powell, Hangman from Top Gun Maverick
Oh, good.
is in
Okay.
Twisters.
All right.
Good stuff. Brother Gerald, thank you. You make a very good point. He says that part 3 set the tone for the other movies. It was really just JJ not having the great voice, the great of a directing voice. I agree 100%. And
Yeah.
Rob says that Philip was a great villain. Monica says he was a great villain. I agree 100%. He's probably one of the most realistic villains. Like some dude, you cross him and he's going to get you.
Yeah.
And he was very, you saw how very vindictive he was. It's just like,
Well, and the character is very real world because, a black market arms dealer, and guaranteed, it's like in real life, they're not someone you're going to want to cross. They're not nice people.
Nope.
They're not, their job is not being nice.
nope.
Mm-hmm.
He killed one of his
Yeah.
one of his henchwomen because she didn't do a good job protecting him when he got captured originally.
Yeah.
So he's a cold dude. And yes, Mr. Sean, you're absolutely right. Hoffman was also terrific in The Big Lebowski and Magnolia. Oh yeah, Magnolia, my goodness, an underrated film with Tom Cruise as well. I love when Tom Cruise plays those non-Tom Cruise parts. Good stuff there. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Like a preacher.
Yes. Well, I'm sweating, man.
Yeah.
It's a bit
What-
warm. I don't
He's
those
getting-
are
Where you
going
go? You
on
get a
in LA.
sandwich?
It's
You get a
warm as
sandwich?
balls. It's like 155
Yeah,
degrees out.
it is ridiculously hot. 'Cause
Sorry, I disappeared for a minute. I had to pick up something. I just want to show it really quickly.
I gotta show it off.
Yeah, I got So I made a deal with a dude
Deal
to
with the dude.
create for the shop for We Can Be Heroes in Chatsworth to create some coins for us.
Oh yes.
Oh,
I
cool.
remember that.
Nice.
And this dude did just a hell of a job. Like, look at this. I'll just show you. These are exclusive to our shop, and to we're gonna take them down to Comic-Con because Kevin and I are headed down this week. Actually, I'm heading down tomorrow.
cool.
Kevin's heading down on Wednesday. But these coins are exclusive to the shop, and look at that. Look at
Oh, wow.
like Ninja Turtles. Like, so that's a Leonardo on there. And then you can scan the back and stuff, and it just tells you, it says SDCC 2023 exclusive, set 5 of 5, and that's Turtles Leonardo. So we'll have these
Nice.
available down there at Comic-Con. So I've been working out a deal, so I had to run mid-show to get
Sounds
these
so
coins.
sketchy. Sounds so sketchy.
Right?
What kind
Yeah.
of
I had to
throw
meet a
up
guy
around-
outside in the alley.
Well, it's all good, Donald. We've actually finished half of the rankings, believe it or not,
Oh, shit.
of the movies, so we're all
Yes.
good. So let's go to the next one.
The third one.
Yeah, third best one of the first 6. Let's
Wait, what was the... Wait, did we already talk about the first best one? Oh, no.
worse. We
We're-
went
okay,
Worst.
so
You
now
start
we're
with
at
the
the
worst.
third. So what did we go over? The second one is the worst. That's
Yeah.
at number
6.
6. Number 5 was
the first one.
the first one, which I disagree with.
It's fine. Most of us agreed on that one, and then the
Number
fourth
4
one, we went with the third one as being like
Is the third one. Okay.
Yeah.
So with the third one,
we talked about Philip Seymour Hoffman, how he was a great villain,
fantastic villain.
fantastic villain.
They set the whole thing right at the beginning.
Yep.
They did that whole like, I'm gonna kill this girl. We don't know who this girl really is to him, by
Right.
the way, right at the beginning.
Right.
We don't find out later that this is like basically his wife.
He's doing the countdown,
Right.
7, 8.
But do you guys also feel like this was a little bit like that one James Bond with when the dude got married, when James got married, and then like his wife got killed? or some
Oh,
shit?
you talk about On Her Majesty's Secret
Yeah.
Service?
Blofeld killed his wife.
Yeah, our Majesty's
the
Secret
Yeah.
Service.
So do you guys
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like this was a little bit like that? Kind of like, oh, okay,
Little
maybe
bit.
they're leaning into
Little
that
bit.
a little too much?
A little bit.
I think
but-
J.J. Abrams took some creative, freedoms with that for sure, guaranteed. Yeah, as director, yeah.
But it did introduce us to Simon Pegg's character.
Yes.
It fleshed out the team a little more.
Yep.
Not perfect yet, but fleshed it out a little bit more.
Yep.
Gave us a fantastic villain. And all the action sequences that we know and love and the intrigue and stuff was in there, but it was purposeful. It wasn't like
Right,
there's a
right.
dove flying by as the cars swirl around
Yes.
each other.
And motorcycles.
Tom
Yeah.
Cruise looks over at Thandie Newton and they fall in love immediately as they're twirling.
Yeah.
Stupid shit.
Yes. A little
Romance.
more organization.
Yes.
And also something he actually feel from. He actually
Mm-hmm.
might lose the woman he truly loves. Which will lead us to our next one.
Also, wait, real quick before we move
What?
on, it also Mission Impossible 3 showed how they made all those masks.
Oh yes,
They
that's
never.
right.
Oh,
they
yeah,
never
yeah.
showed- they just have the masks
Mm-hmm.
and all the first two. They just have them, and also in like the series, they just. I guess it's like they just have a bag full. They just hang around,
Love those
take
masks.
a mask of everybody's face.
Love them.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
scan the
Have
face.
a warehouse.
A warehouse.
But they
Halloween store.
Yeah, they showed how they actually make the masks.
That was
Finally.
good, yeah.
Which was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was good. That was important for sure.
Now, do you think that
But-
they also made a mask for the dude from Darkman? Like, do you think he used the same technology?
Yeah, probably.
You know what's funny? I was just talking about Darkman today with some friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the context of the conversation was?
What's that?
We were saying, how is a smart gun going to work if you get horribly mutilated, like the guy from Darkman, and it can't recognize your face or your fingerprints? And nobody had a good answer for how to remedy that problem.
You should
a good
write
point.
a reboot.
Yeah.
It's time for a Darkman reboot. I'm surprised it's not in the pipeline somewhere.
Yeah, I really like the original Darkman. Yeah, with Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
That was better, way better than Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
She wants a pink fucking elephant. Give her the pink stuffed elephant. Give her the pink. He's losing his goddamn mind over that shit.
Those carnies had no idea who they were messing.
No, they did not, did they? Broke a finger or two. Yeah. But who hasn't wanted to break a carny's finger? Let's be realistic here. Those
They
assholes.
pushed too far.
Okay, like I've never experienced like I went to get on this ride with a friend of mine. We were gonna ride. It was like one of the Ferris wheels or whatever in the county fair where I'm from, right? And she wasn't a large woman by any means. She just was, had a larger bottom, right? Which is fine, But we're both going to get on the ride, and I get in, and she's like kind of stumbled a little bit to try to get in, and the guy that's running the ride looks at her, and he's like, "Hey." He's like, "Hurry up, fat ass! I ain't got all night."
Whoa!
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa!
It's just,
Yes.
When I think of carnies now, I immediately think of Scotty P from We're the Millers. Remember Scotty P?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the mullet and the misspelled tattoo and everything. I'm like, so if anybody says carny, the vision of Scotty P immediately just.
Yeah, him or Joe Dirt.
Yeah, Joe Dirt.
Right. God.
Dino says Jed and Kevin are correct. Crazy people giving input doesn't help. Who's the crazy people giving input?
I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe you.
Oh,
What?
No, I'm just kidding. No,
we're talking about
not
like the
you.
marketing.
You
Like
notice, you notice in this country we do not have a carny appreciation day.
No, we
There should be.
don't.
They're very much not appreciated.
No.
Well, the thing too about carnies, and kind of to your point, Donald, and the Scotty P's of the world, of the carny world, is the realization that makes you want to like break into a cold sweat. These are the people responsible for your safety
Yeah.
in the rides.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you think about that real hard
Mhm.
Yeah.
next time you go to a carnival.
Yeah, don't go to no Megatron. Don't do the zipper. Just do like the
Safe
the bumper
shit.
cars. You'll be
You
safe.
know what? I don't even want to do the
gonna
like
do the
swing
carousel.
ride. That like
Yeah.
swing, that chain lets go and you
Yeah.
just woo you know, let's go. You're like Mario, just flying off into the distance.
Bungee jump fail.
Yeah.
We're all just
Yeah.
one loose bolt away from a fatality.
You're not wrong. Like a lot of that.
It has
The only one I think that you'd be safe on, like really advanced ride wise, would be I think like the egg roll, where it's the one that rolls around while it's going around the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Because you're in that cage. So if that cage falls, you know, at least you got padding behind you and you got a bar and shit like that. So I think you get banged up, but I don't think it would kill you. But it still would suck pretty bad.
Oh, you
Yeah.
don't think
Yeah.
it would kill you?
Right, but
not
the
certain.
open air Ferris wheel and one of
Oh,
those,
yeah.
you dead. You know, you dead as hell. Yeah, forget it. Forget it. It's over.
All
right, so we did that Mission Impossible.
We did the bottom 3. Now we're doing the top 3.
All right.
Now, this is where things get interesting. I think this is probably a lot of us are going to diverge a little bit. So, Monty, not counting, obviously, because you're the only one who's seen Dark Reckoning once, so we're not really counting that for obvious reasons.
Dead Reckoning.
Dead Reckoning Part 1. What is your third best one?
Your top 3.
Your top 3.
So what's
number 3?
What's the third on the top 3?
So the next one would be Rogue Nation.
Wow, man. You and I are
Five.
you and I are very, very similar. Good Lord.
Rogue Nation.
We're in sync, Kevin.
I know.
Like,
We really are in sync.
all of
There
our-
it is. You just pressed it.
Yeah, makes up for our little, arguments before.
Now, this is the
Oh.
introduction of
You know
the
what?
lovely...
I was gonna shrink this image down, but I think I'm gonna keep it up just like this.
Well, it's a beautiful shot, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, imagine trying to be assassinated by a lady in a evening gown.
I have no idea
Well.
what that was.
Well,
Sounds like somebody's drag racing, which that's our
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious ranking. That's coming at a later
that'll
date.
be in the future.
See, now I'm in the same boat that you guys are. I still haven't seen Fast X, so there you
Oh, yeah.
go.
Yeah.
But
That's okay. I can wait.
This the movie that introduces Rebecca Ferguson's Elsa Faust character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is the fourth one. This
No,
is
fifth one.
the fifth one.
Yes,
Number 5.
Oh.
Number
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
Oh,
5.
Wait, so this is the one that happened?
2015. Came out in 2015.
2015.
Man, I'm trying to think of this one.
This is the one with the syndicate.
It introduces
the syndicate.
It introduces
The anti-
Solomon
the
Lane,
anti-IMF
Solomon
team.
Lane as a villain.
Baldwin's in this one too, right? Yeah.
Yes, the first one that
Oh,
Al
yeah,
Baldwin's
yeah.
in.
Gotcha. All right.
It's
Yeah,
the second one with Jeremy Renner.
that makes sense.
And introduces Rebecca Ferguson's Ilsa Faust character.
Yeah, she's great.
Mhm.
She's great.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She can assassinate me. Fine.
Any day of the week.
Fine.
Which, by the way, if you fellas, for those who've seen the movie, if you remember the sequence, there was like 3 assassins in that opera, and I can tell. By the way, I think they copied that opera scene from the James Bond movie Quantum of Solace. It's very similar. It's like an opera. They're singing, a gunshot's about to go off, so people are singing, so you're not really going to hear all the extra noise in the background. There's
They're
fight
trying to
scenes
find
going
a
on.
bad guy.
Yeah,
They're trying to
yeah.
find the villain who's there, kind of thing. Yeah. Good point, Kevin.
But in this case, I think this one might be executed a little bit better.
You know what's interesting, ironic about what you said too, Kevin, is the irony is, okay, so the opera scene kind of copied some things from Quantum of Solace, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other people were bringing up the fact that the end of Rogue Nation, how he entraps Solomon Lane and everything like that,
that was great. That was awesome.
was like in several months before Spectre came out and pretty much did the same thing with
Mhm.
what Bond does to Blofeld.
Correct.
So it's weird. They
Oh.
decided to just switch up.
We'll
So it's
copy
like-
you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
copy us, we'll
This
copy
is
you.
the one with Jeremy Renner
It
too.
The
pretty
second
much,
one. The second one with
pretty
Jeremy Renner.
He was in another
He
one.
was in the fourth one. He was in Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol was his introduction.
Did we talk about that one?
No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Not there. That's
All right.
And no, this is pretty cool. So myself, Monty, and Jed, we're kind of on the same page. All right, this is unusual. So we actually didn't have to do the traditional rankings the way
I
I
don't
thought.
really remember this one.
It's good. Well, basically to describe it.
Damn it, Donald. You're supposed to watch these.
I didn't have time.
I
work 2 jobs.
So do I.
No, you.
It's okay. It's okay.
But then again, you have a relationship too. It is very difficult. It's very complicated.
Oh man.
With my jobs.
Yes, with your jobs.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's real hard.
I know.
It's
It's
real
tough.
hard.
It's
tough.
hard out there for a pimp.
But
I
what's
get it.
what's cool about this movie is the introduction of the Syndicate, and the Syndicate is basically the opposite, the evil version of the IMF. So
Yep,
remember
exactly.
the very beginning of the movie. You know, it usually goes through the message. You know, if you choose to do this mission, it turns out the message is actually from the Syndicate, and then they basically
Well-
entraps
Wait, is
Ethan
this where
Hunt.
they went to a telephone booth and it went down or something
Yeah.
like that? Or?
Yeah, and
Yeah?
dude
Yeah.
like kills the poor girl that's working at the record shop.
Yep, the
God,
record
which
shop.
one?
While Ethan is helpless to do anything about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the smoke comes, he gets
It's
knocked out, and he
kinda-
was captured.
Yeah, I
It
remember.
gives you an
this.
idea right there of how evil the Solomon Lane character is.
And how organized they are. So Solomon Lane, this dude's no joke. Like, he knows how the IMF moves because, after all, he was in the British version of that. So he knows
Yep.
how all this.
MI6.
Yep.
Intricities and all that works. Yep.
Yep. He's basically a master of spycraft himself. So,
When I think-
it's a
I'm
chess
thinking
game. A chess game that's being played throughout the whole
You mentioned
movie.
it's like this isn't the first time that the Syndicate was around. Like, apparently it was like a return to, like, the Syndicate was apparently I guess reoccurring enemy in the old Mission Impossible series as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So it's actually kind of a return to form where they decided to bring back the Syndicate, and that's why they, at the end of Ghost Protocol, if you remember,
They mention
when he
it.
gets his next
a
mission,
good
They,
callback.
they mention it.
They mention the Syndicate.
Yep.
Yeah.
And for those that were apparently, like, fans of the series, knew at least well enough of the series, they're like, "Oh, the Syndicate, is that going to be the next movie?"
Yeah. Keep them all.
It's kind
keep
of
'em
like
peeped.
kind of like the Joker card at the end of Batman Begins, kind of
Yes.
deal. You know?
Yes, we're kind
Right.
of teasing the next movie.
Little
Right.
carrot. Yeah. For
Yes.
us.
Yeah.
But the
Cool.
team is great. You have the Ilsa Foss character. You have she's a great part of that. She has an interesting story herself. She's kind of part of the Syndicate, but not really. She's kind of like a double spy, and she's kind of like she doesn't really have anyone she can trust because she's kind of stuck. If you don't work here, this is what's going to happen to you. But if you go over here, this is what's going to happen to you. So she's kind of a very intriguing character, to say the least.
I honestly thought kind of the most interesting, sort of depth-wise female character that the franchise has had, really.
That's true, because Maggie Q
My
and
personal
Paula Patton's
opinion.
characters weren't given as much depth as hers.
No.
Right. And really no backstory. It's like all you know about Maggie
Wow.
Q, for instance, and
Paula.
Paula Patton's character is that they're IMF agents.
Yeah.
That's it.
Big
Paula.
Sal. Big Sal popped in. Hello, Big Sal. Hope everything's going
Hey,
well.
Big Sal, what's happening?
Hector popped in, says, as someone who
Hector.
has not watched a single Mission Impossible, can any be watched without watching chronologically, or you have to watch chronologically?
The first three, you don't really have to watch like chronologically. I would say starting with 4, you would
Watch the
start
first
watching.
one and then skip the second, for sure.
Yeah.
Unless you're a John Woo
Consensus
fan, you
is,
like
yeah,
John
skip
Woo
the
action.
second.
You don't
Yeah.
need it.
Or if you like Fanny Newton, you just want to look at
Skip
Fanny
it.
Newton.
No,
you know.
don't. Watch the
I
first
like
one.
Watch
how
her on
you say
Westworld.
skip the second.
Watch her on
It's
Westworld
like,
Yeah,
instead.
skip the
Starting,
second.
Starting
with the Halloween trilogy, skip the third one.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
Starting
true.
with Rogue Nation, I would say you got to watch them in order. Well, especially Rogue Nation and
Yeah.
Fallout are directly related and,
Yes.
and
Yeah. Agreed.
chronological. It's interesting. We have Dead Reckoning Part 1, Dead Reckoning Part 2. Why didn't they just have Rogue Nation Part 1 and Rogue Nation Part 2?
Good
True.
point, Monty. Good
Fallout
point.
is a direct continuation
mhm.
of Rogue Nation. It's like
They
two
probably
parts.
didn't. At
probably
the
didn't plan
time,
at the time.
It was hard for them to convince because he was new to being with Tom and working on this project together, right?
So it's Christopher McQuarrie, the director.
Yeah. So it was a little more difficult to convince them to do a 2-parter. So if he did the first one with the intention of doing a second part, if the first one did well, then he could continue on with the second one. So they probably thought that if he just labeled them as a first, like a one and done, then more
Makes
people
sense.
would go to see it. Whether if you break it up into a part 1 or part 2, it makes it a little more difficult. But now
Which is
they
why
have faith in both of them. So
I still don't like the whole Part 1, Part 2.
I don't know that anybody loves part 1s and part 2s unless it's
Unfortunately,
Kill Bill.
it goes all the way back to like Harry Potter when they did the last 2. They split it up in 2, and then
Yeah.
and then Hunger Games,
Money grab.
and then
The
the
money
Hobbit
grab.
did the same thing. Split them up just so you can get more, squeeze more money out of it.
If I need
Yeah,
to watch
milk it.
one to convince me on the franchise, which would it be?
I would start with Ghost Protocol,
That's the fourth.
the 4th one, which we'd probably
Yeah.
get into next, which I think we might be getting to next.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so think about the same guy that directed and wrote The Incredibles.
Yes, amazing.
Sat down and did this. What happened to him, by the way? Where did Brad Bird go?
Brad Bird.
He did another movie recently. He did Incredibles,
He
Incredibles
just
2.
kind of gone.
He did Tomorrowland. He directed Tomorrowland.
Oh, that's what happened.
And then he directed. Yeah, that did hurt. That did hurt. However,
Yeah.
I can't remember what movie he did after that. He directed another movie after that. He has another one that's also in development.
Okay.
So he's good. He's
All
good.
right, well, that's good. That's good.
Brad Bird's good. But
yeah,
yes,
so
it's incredible.
probably-
Brad Bird, a animation director, directed a live action movie. It's kind of like if Walt Disney directed like a James Bond movie.
Right.
And it's actually good.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like it's kind of like if Walt Disney directed like Goldfinger or something. It's incredible.
It would be mind-blowing.
It'd be
So
mind-blowing.
to see somebody transition like that from animation to live action is pretty incredible. And he does a bang-up job. I would say the first one's watchable. It's fun. There's a lot of really cool moments, specifically when he falls from the ceiling and he does that thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's iconic.
Famous, yeah. Super
Yeah.
famous now. Everybody
Catch the
knows
sweat,
that.
catch
Yeah,
the sweat.
catch your sweat. You know, I get that. That's within the first one. But it's kind of just reintroducing you to the characters within this world and introducing you to Ethan. So if you want to learn Ethan, watch the first one. But if you want to learn the world around Ethan and how he reacts to everything, it's the fourth one, I think, that does a really good job as an introductory piece. So, yeah, probably the fourth one, and then maybe go up to what the after the fourth one, then go right to the fifth. I would imagine.
fifth and sixth.
Yeah,
from
fifth
there,
and
from
sixth.
there, it
Six,
just builds up nicely.
Yeah.
Just builds up nicely. But the next one, I think most of us agree upon as the second best one, not counting the most one that came out last week, Ghost Protocol. And it's tight too.
Yeah.
We can switch them out, to be honest with you. I mean,
Yeah,
they're all good. I mean, we can switch them out. Ghost Protocol, to me, was the first one that really, truly took that team thing to another level, where everybody truly had something to do. And it wasn't just all Tom having to do all the stunts
Yes.
and have to do all the
100%,
craziness.
100%. Seeing the team, a cohesive
Really?
unit back for Mission
Giving
Impossible.
Simon Pegg more
More to do. More to do.
Yeah. That was good.
Paula Patton
actor.
versus a future James Bond girl in Leigh Sado.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Right. She was a bad villain. That was
Oh, yeah.
bad. She was bad. Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it. She's so bad. She gets demands getting paid with diamonds.
Yep.
And people will do it. People will pay her in diamonds.
Mhm.
And by the way, she killed Sawyer from Lost at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Remember that?
That was.
I
you
know.
Can't do that.
I was so
He's a hero.
disappointed.
What?
He's
I
barely
love
there. He's
Sawyer.
barely there. He's barely in the
I
movie.
loved Sawyer, and then like
He's gone.
boom, gone.
gone.
Like nothing. And that was it. Like that was peak Sawyer too. Like,
Yeah, because
as-
Lost just ended the year before.
Right.
The show went off the air the year
was,
before.
He was still kind
He
of
had
hot.
his black.
Yep.
He had his black leather
I think it's
jacket. He
one of
was
those
pimping
things
out,
where
and boom, boom.
Well, I think it's
Yeah.
one of those things because J.J. Abrams, he didn't direct, but he's come back to produce
Yes.
all the movies after.
Yeah, it was
MI3.
Bad Robot production company.
Yeah, Bad Robot. So I feel like I think for sure it's one of those things. It's like, hey, you know what we should do, guys? Get my buddy Josh Holloway, aka Sawyer, to be in at least a little bit of this movie. What do you say?
Yeah.
He could be the first team member to die. How about that? He can we'll pull an Emilio Estevez on him.
Or even better, or in the third movie, what's her name? Felicity.
Oh yeah. Carrie
Oh
Russell.
yeah, Kerry Russell, right?
Carrie Russell getting taken out.
Uh-huh.
Again, another J.J. Abrams edition because
Yep.
he did Felicity, created it, wrote it, and everything like that. I'm surprised he didn't manage a way to throw Jennifer Garner from Alias.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah.
in there randomly somewhere. No,
But Jeremy Renner, this is his first movie that he's in the Mission Impossible series, and he does a great job with some of his stunt scenes and the mysteries behind his character. So it's really cool, especially when they go to India. They get to the
Oh yeah.
third act of
And
the
the
movie.
fan.
you know the
Yes.
you know the
And he's
story
like, yeah.
behind his character, right? Jeremy Renner being brought in, and the character of Brant, and why there's a little bit of backstory for him. He was initially meant to potentially be taking
successor,
over the
successor.
franchise from Tom.
Yeah. But
Basically. So they were trying to. Well, obviously they didn't need to. They were just banking on to see. Okay,
if he can handle it.
And if Ghost Protocol were to
Charisma.
kind of not do so well,
The
Well, they were
charisma-
also worried about Tom.
we'll have
Right.
Renner taking
private
over.
life.
Right.
They were worried
Yeah, they were.
that he was going to implode or something, and then they would need to have to pivot. And that makes
No,
sense.
they brought Renner in as Brant and kind of see how that might play out or whatever. Could he potentially, passing of the torch, he take over?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner, no offense to him, I like him as an actor, but it's kind of like a sports analogy on this. He's someone who, he's not a starter, but he's great to come off the bench.
Yeah.
He's the Carson.
He's not the nut
Palmer.
squad. He's not on the nut squad. No, but he's
And bless him,
definitely
He's a
he's
Carson
great.
Palmer, right?
he's
this
sixth
is
or
two.
seventh man.
So backup
This
quarterback,
is
I guess.
two.
Yeah.
Hey Kevin, kind of to your point. This
Almost will
is
get to
two.
the Super Bowl. Almost.
This is two spy franchises that he got kind of screwed out of continuing because
Yes,
The Bourne.
the Bourne,
The Bourne,
yep.
he was supposed to be, maybe the replacement for Cruz. And then Bourne Legacy, he was supposed to be the new, like the different character, but take over the Bourne franchise.
Right.
Neither one happened.
Yeah.
Although, to his credit, though, when it comes to franchises, I did enjoy the Hawkeye TV series on Disney Plus.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Because they made him more like a Bruce Willis type character.
Yes.
More reactive than
Mhm.
proactive.
Mhm.
Like more like of a very gritty like almost down on his luck type character. They made him more likable that
Yes,
way.
absolutely.
Which
Yeah.
is the problem that we've had with Jeremy Renner from the beginning, is he's not very likable. Like he comes off, unfortunately, rather conceited in everything that he's in, and it's odd to be an actor and be seen like that. But
Well,
it
they
is the way.
tried. What was it? Then they tried. They kind of realized that, so they tried. What was it? Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, where they had the whole thing. They showed his family and
Yeah,
You're right.
They added the wife.
kid.
Yeah.
It's like, we really didn't do much with them in the Avengers. Let's try to make up for it in Avengers: Age of Ultron. It's like, hey, let's take everybody to the family farm
Yeah.
kind of deal.
Yeah,
to
I think
hide
he
out.
got a better deal than Scarlett did with her movie, where they basically the end of her career as an Avenger. They go, oh, by the way, here's a movie she was in that she did something a long time ago, and you're like, what?
Uh-huh.
It just didn't fit within the franchise at that point, unfortunately. But the Hawkeye story did, because it came after.
Well, and the thing with Black Widow too, there's no stakes when you know what happens to her.
Unfortunately, yeah, she's going to survive. Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
there's no stakes. It's like it's a prequel, and in prequels, that's the thing. Sometimes it's like, I already know you're gonna die in a few years because of like, so.
Puts us at 1.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
So this puts us at 1 as the number 1 of the ranking.
So it appears that I think we all agree upon this. The best one so far, again, not counting all those who haven't seen the most recent one, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yep.
This
Number
movie,
C.
even though it's a little long, to me, I felt the length was okay because the plot, the action, to me, was well balanced. At least for me personally,
The
was well
infamous
balanced.
mustache.
Yes, the infamous mustache of Mr. Henry
This is
Cavill.
twice that Tom Cruise has found a way to screw over
Somebody-
another
Let's not forget.
franchise.
Yeah. I mean, this right here.
And a comic book movie.
Superheroes.
Yeah, Marvel,
Yeah.
X-Men
This
movie,
is-
and now a
This
DC
is how,
movie. Justice
this is how
League.
committed Cavill was to the stash.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Cavill refused to shave it when they had to do all those reshoots, right, for Justice League. He's all like, well, no, because I'm still shooting Fallout. It's like the stash stays. And so we got terrible, like, CGI removal of the stash in the final cut of Justice League.
So bad. So bad.
Yeah.
You notice in
CGI still has a long way to go.
in a lot of ways, absolutely, you're not wrong.
Have you seen the preview for Kraven the Hunter? Those lions look fake.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Oh no.
Yeah, but
Don't
I'm
tell
excited
me
to see
that.
Craven, though. That's the thing.
Besides, the lions.
I'm going to have a
excited.
drink, I'm going to have an edible, and I'm going to have a really good time. That's it. Craven's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I'll check
But
it.
the bathroom scene in this movie,
Oh!
oh my goodness.
What does he
Amazing.
even do? He just does, like, with his... What's he checks his own muscles or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
What's
I
Cavill
know.
do?
He's thrown up
I
his
can't-
stick.
I can't-
Like a video
Loading a
game.
gun, like,
Yeah,
loading
like
a
he's
gun,
reloading a
loading gun,
charge.
loading a gun.
I've tried that at home. I look stupid. I've done it out in public. People laugh. But Cavill
Put
does
that
it on
clothes on
film.
then.
and you're
I
like,
look good.
About to say, the Japanese or Asian gentleman, I think he's Japanese, he's a stuntman, he's a famous stuntman. He was amazing. He took on both of Tom Cruise and Henry Cavill at once. He gave him a whooping.
The sink.
It took Ulsa shooting him in the face.
I know. That was the only way they could stop him.
Yeah.
At least
I
expected
mean,
it.
he gave them the business.
It really was a great movie.
That dude gave him the
yeah.
business.
I watched this in the theater.
Yeah.
I just had a blast.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
And
Oh,
the
yeah.
runtime was long, yeah, but it was worth it.
It was worth it.
It was worth it.
I
Especially
loved
with the
it. I
plot
walked
that's
out-
being
I
laid
walked
out.
of the
It's
theater
beautiful.
Pumped. I
Yeah,
walked out of the
you walked
theater
out of the theater.
movie.
I heard you hit somebody.
Come on. Come on.
But not before doing
Like,
a
you
cable
want more,
kind
Grandma?
of fucking and loading the arms kind of
I
thing.
just wanted to know where the grocery store was. Standing over her.
Nine
Checking your
items your
fists.
list, ma'am. I told you.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the return of Solomon Lane. You know, first the plot twist with the John Lark character. First, you thought it was the Asian gentleman that got beat up, but it wasn't. He was just a decoy. Then you get introduced to a character from Part 1's daughter, Max.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
the white-
Villain-
the
who's
white
big
widow.
villain in this one?
It's actually two people.
Yeah.
It's John Lark and Solomon Lane. So it's basically the guy from Part 5, but he has his protege, John Lark, who's played by Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill basically infiltrated the IMF. Surprise, surprise. And then he's on... sorry, not the IMF, the CIA.
CIA.
Yeah, because he's
CIA,
working for... oh my goodness, top of my head right now.
I don't even know
No,
this
MI
actor that plays Solomon Lane.
Yeah.
He began the Apostles after the Syndicate went.
Yes, yeah, they're a spin-off of the Syndicate.
Elliot.
Yeah, the Apostles are a spin-off of the Syndicate.
So I've got these two guys up on the screen. So let's talk about the ranking of the villains. Who, as far as you guys are concerned, who do you think would be the number one, like the best villain out of the entire
Solomon
franchise?
Lane, for sure.
You think?
Owen
Seriously?
Davian. Oh, I would say Owen Davian by virtue of that creepy as all get out interrogation scene on the
100%.
cargo plane in Mission Impossible 3.
I feel that too, yes.
I agree.
Because he's so
Monty.
sadistic.
Yeah.
So I mean, the whole just
100%.
ever so calmly
Yeah.
talking about all the
with
things he's
them.
going
I
to
mean,
do to his wife.
that's fair. I mean, I'm not against it. Adam has like my second.
He was
my
more
number two.
like he was cool and calculated, and I feel like when it comes to some of these other characters that come down the pike later, they emulated that. You know what I'm saying? They were like, "That was so cool and that worked so well. Let's do that." And this
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
mean,
very
he had to be
innocent. It's like-
mentioned in a
Right.
conversation.
No, absolutely. I like
Right.
Solomon because like he's like a chess player. You know, he's just got all these things.
Is.
He's a
No,
great villain. Don't get me
yeah.
wrong. I didn't remember it.
But I mean, it's like
Who I remember though,
just,
That's
Philip
all I did.
Seymour
That's
Hoffman,
fine. No, absolutely.
It's
my number
to
two.
show you the kind of impression though that like Davian leaves in the third one on the cargo plane is like when
When I
his
get out of this,
men
I'm gonna get you.
rescued him or whatever, and he's on the helicopter. You can see in Ethan's face after what he said about what he's going to do to his wife,
Yep.
and he knows he has the resources to find out who she is, where
Yep.
she's at.
Yep.
You can see it in his eyes. Oh man!
And that's why he ran to the hospital as soon as he could because he knew.
Yeah.
Yep.
He knew.
but he was too
Yeah.
late. He was too late. So, yeah, man,
Uh.
Davian for the win on number one. I say.
Henry Cavill was great in this film in the last one, just because it's one of the very few times that I saw a real personality shine through with Henry Cavill. If that makes sense. Like
No,
I,
right.
I really liked him in this. I liked him in this, and I also liked him in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Those are the two films that I remember Cavill from and enjoying Cavill in. Are those two main primary films, in my opinion. I thought he worked really well with Armie Hammer back before he was canceled in Man from U.N.C.L.E. I thought they really kind of just hit it off, you know?
Yeah.
Something
Good
about-
chemistry. Good chemistry.
Right, something
The
about
walk-
that chemistry.
Walker / John Lark character. The only downside of it was they gave too much away in terms of the twist of him being a villain. They kind of gave it away in the trailers.
Yeah.
They really did. You kind of see that whole twist of him, and even halfway through the movie when he basically casts suspicion on Ethan. And for eagle-eyed viewers, he hands Angela Bassett's character, his boss,
Yeah,
the
Erica
phone
Sloan.
that
Erica
they got off
Sloan.
of.
Yeah.
That they got off of faux Lark. But
Yeah.
if you remember in the bathroom after the fight, after he gets shot in the face, and they're kind of trying to make a mask, that's not going to happen. But part of it was too. It shows that they take out, and upon reviewing, especially, they take out his phone, and it's all cracked and messed up or whatever.
Mhm.
But the phone that Walker slash Lark gives to Sloane completely like new and not all messed up.
Yeah.
And that's like halfway through the movie. So at that
Mhm.
point, you already know. You already
So-
know that he's a bad guy. He's
So
Yeah.
you know.
let me ask
Double
you
agent,
something.
whatever.
The second film we all agree is the worst. Do
Right.
we think also that Ambrose is the worst villain out of the bunch because he was in the worst film? Or
He
do
had
you-
his moments.
He had his moments.
He had
I mean,
moments.
logic
I
would
will say
dictate
this,
that.
though.
It
I mean,
would, but do you think
Right.
maybe John Voight is Mr. Phelps was worse?
Well, here's the thing. Ambrose was the villain throughout the entirety of the movie. I mean, he's introduced from the very cold open
Yeah,
scene.
yeah.
yeah.
He literally
Prague,
plays
right? On the
Tom.
bridge.
Yeah, pretends to be
Clear,
Tom.
he's clear through the movie. Voight is just sprinkled into the first movie and not revealed truly to be the villain until the third act, going
Right.
into the finale or
Right.
whatever.
And,
I
and
will say
he
this.
really let us know he tasted all the fruits too.
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
yes,
no,
that's
it's-
right.
You and I talked about that.
Yeah.
It's like you dirty old man. It's like I would have figured. It's like he would have went for it, having
Yeah.
tasted the goods myself.
Right, yeah.
Like this old man,
It's-
this old man with this hot young French woman.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just
Don't
you're
see
just
how that
dirty.
worked, but all
You're
right.
just dirty, Phelps. You're just
Yeah.
a dirty old man.
And then he tells you how
But you
much
know,
he made a year, and you're like, and you kept her? Like, how did?
Wait,
like,
wait. Yeah,
so
well-
she's
well,
a
first
keeper,
off, he
dude,
said- I
and,
remember-
then you killed her. Like,
Right, what's up with that?
He said he made like.
I know, but I ain't gonna say this is a
He said
family
that was like part of his.
podcast. I know how much.
Yeah, PG-13. PG-13, yes.
The thing is, though, it's like, yeah, he talks about the money or whatever, and he's talking about it's like, what do you get after serving your country or whatever? It's like a president that no longer listens to you or asks for your permission to do anything.
Right.
A lousy marriage, and I'm like, seriously, you're married to Emmanuel Bear.
yeah. Hey,
Like,
Frank,
Can't be. It can't be that bad. Also,
And Viagra was legal at that time, so it's like no excuse
But-
for you, buddy. Come on now.
when he talked about, but my favorite is when he talks about and like $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm like,
$60,000
I'm watching that. I'm like, in 1996.
That's a six-figure salary.
Inflation.
That's a six-figure
adjusted,
salary back then.
Pretty
In
good.
1996, 60,000 a year was probably doing pretty good,
110,000?
Jim.
Probably 110,000 or so, yeah.
Yeah, he was doing all
Like,
right.
you're-
All right for himself. I mean, he landed a hot girl that like was super loyal to him.
That's right.
Super loyal.
And that was
That's
half
everything
age.
right there. That's
he had,
priceless.
he had a good
Hello.
salary, a really good salary, and he's like, the president doesn't listen to me anymore.
That's literally his motivation. It really is. He's like a butthurt
Tell
little
me he's
kid.
not the worst
Typical
villain.
narcissist. Typical narcissist syndrome.
This guy
He's a
can kiss
butthurt
my
little
ass.
kid.
The president won't take my
Crazy.
phone calls.
Glad you
Yeah.
exploded in a helicopter, you
Wow.
piece of
I'm
shit.
gonna It's like, so what am I going to do about it? I'm going to become a treasonous traitor and kill
Yeah.
off my entire IMF team.
Yeah, everybody. I'm gonna
Oh,
just
that
kill
makes sense.
everybody.
My
That's
dad.
fair.
By the way,
That's fair.
Emilio Estevez, good lord, he died horribly.
He died real hard. Yeah,
Jeez.
the spikes came down.
He
Like,
did.
how do you have
And you
time
know-
to plan all that shit? You know,
Seriously.
let's plant these spikes that come
You
down.
know what? He was basically Jigsaw before there was
He's
Jigsaw.
Jim
Yeah,
freaking
everything's
Phelps.
planned out accordingly, all the traps.
Yeah,
Jigsaw,
yeah.
it's like would you like
It's true. So, Frank, real
this-
quick question for you, Frank. I
Yes.
know that you haven't seen a lot of these. So
Yeah.
for starters, thank you for being on and being a part of this and listening to us kind of ramble on and on about this stuff.
Yeah, I know you needed an extra person to fill in. So.
But having heard all of this, are you maybe wanting to look into watching more of the Mission Impossible franchise? And if so,
Yeah,
which
but-
one kind of piques your interest more than the others?
Well, you all had mentioned the Ghost Protocol being one of the best, so I think I'll watch that one.
Yeah, that one and
Very good
Fallout. You definitely gotta watch
Yeah.
those. Fallout, you will
That's
love.
I
a
mean,
good one.
yeah, Paula herself is worth watching. She's just,
Oh yeah, I
Yes,
was so
done.
disappointed that her character didn't ever come back
The-
or is ever mentioned.
The reason
Yeah.
her and Maggie Q, they were actually supposed to have been in Fallout. Fallout or Rogue Nation, one of the two, but the thing is, was just their schedules. That was the issue. That's why they couldn't.
They were so
Oh right,
busy.
you mentioned that earlier.
Well, no,
that's
well,
right.
Maggie Q, she was in Little Nikita, something like that. Maggie Q. The
Oh yeah,
TV show.
Nikita.
Oh,
Was that
yeah.
on
And
Fox
Paul
or
Patton
something?
was doing the Warcraft movie.
Uh,
But anyway,
Paula-
Oh,
wait,
let's just-
was,
let's see
was
his,
hurt me
Mission
good.
Was,
Impossible
Judi
or
Dench in
Warcraft
it?
Hurt me.
sucked.
Judy Dench, brother.
wasn't she in a Mission Impossible movie?
No. She's in the James Bond movie
You're
as
thinking-
M.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
thinking
Judy-
James Bond.
Yeah,
yeah, she's
yeah, but you know what? Why not bring her in?
It gets-
Let's
Wow.
cross them over.
Paula Patton
be a
turning
great
down
idea.
Mission Impossible again for Warcraft, it's kind of similar to like when Katie Holmes turned down The Dark Knight to do, what was that movie called where she played like a maid, and her maid cohorts decided to do like some kind of heist or whatever. Came out around the same time.
It worked out because Maggie Gyllenhaal, I thought I was more sympathetic.
I agree. It was definitely.
Like to see it.
I'd have
Maggie did
preferred
fine.
if he was dating Jake Gyllenhaal. I think that would have been a little more. You know, I think they would have had better chemistry
I see.
than Maggie.
You think?
Christian
Keep
and
it in the
Jake.
family, huh?
Yeah,
Keep it in the
Chris-
family.
Christian and
Get
Jake.
out of here.
Christian Bale and Jake Gyllenhaal.
They could compare
Broke
abs.
back it again.
Jeez.
Broke
I
back
just
at it.
can't quit you.
What's up, Jesse
gotta-
and Grace? Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
guys, thank you.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Anything else that we want to
Big deal.
mention? Frank, is there
Yeah,
anything
can I just-
else you want to talk about? I know Monty. We'll let you go ahead and speak your
Yeah,
piece, but anybody
let's-
want to throw something out? Feel free after that.
Yeah, so for those of you in the Western United States, I just heard that there's this controversy with the In-N-Out Burger employees are not allowed to wear masks anymore. What are your thoughts on that?
No idea.
What kind of mask? Like mask for like the COVID mask?
Like the safety masks.
I don't see why it would matter. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like for me, like who cares if they want to? If they like, if I'm any place and I see somebody wearing a mask, I don't make fun of them and I don't say that they shouldn't.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
an
Good answer,
administrative
Donald. Good answer.
decision. I think they don't want the customers to
It's
see
wrong,
the
though.
employees in masks, but that's kind of preposterous.
Yeah, it's silly. It's just silliness.
I just think whoever wants to wear a mask, you know what's going to happen. They're going to start saying they're wearing the mask for religious reasons, and
Oh,
then the
yeah.
administration won't be able to say anything.
that's not a bad idea.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Chicago Rob. Rob has a comment. He says Anthony Hopkins. We never see him again. That's
True.
true.
You know, for part 2.
And
There's
Alec
so many
Baldwin
good
was a
characters.
fine addition to the franchise.
Until they killed him.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah.
Harry Cavill killed him.
Yeah. That
He
was
stabbed
Yeah.
him up.
That was sad, but I did like seeing Alec Baldwin in there.
Yeah, he pretty much got shanked.
He got
So it's
shanked.
like-
So
Yeah,
Monty,
my
what
bad.
else did you want to add real quick?
Fortunately, real
I
life
was gonna
is
say,
murder,
just
too.
nobody. A few people did mention it when our favorite Mission Impossible 2 came out. But does it? Anybody kind of ever think to themselves when they were watching Mission Impossible 2 that what part of the whole thing was that Ambrose's character was a double for Tom Cruise, like in the IMF, like when Ethan couldn't be there, then Ambrose would take over and be Ethan.
Like a proxy? Yeah.
Yeah, he would wear the Ethan mask and this, that, and the other, whatever. And that's,
What's
Gray
his, what's his
Scott-
what's his true motivation? That's kind of strange to me. He's just jealous.
Grace Scott is like 6 foot or whatever.
Right.
And so Tom Cruise is not.
It's like 5'4", 5'5", or something like that.
So anybody who's dealt with Ethan before, right? And then say, Grace Scott doubling as Ethan coming in would probably be like, wait, what? Did you grow? Like,
Nice lips.
nobody ever brings that up. Nobody ever notices that suddenly Ethan Hunt is like changes in height
Yeah.
every so often, like randomly.
It's the
Yeah,
Apple
it's
boxes.
like the Chucky doll that changes proportions in the movie because you have Ed Gale inside of a suit,
Yeah,
and then you have the doll. That's what that's like.
that makes
Oh.
sense. That makes complete sense.
But then, what's that suspension? The suspended, belief of reality.
Suspension
You
of
have to
disbelief. Yeah.
Yeah.
disbelief. You got to just let that go and just pretend like, okay.
Yeah. You
Well,
have
at
to
the
do
end of
that
the day,
with
it's
Tom
a
Cruise
mission-
or
It's a
Chucky.
Mission Impossible movie. God's sakes, he's climbing up what is the name of the building in Ghost Protocol? The tallest building in like
The one
the
in
world.
Dubai.
The Burj
Yeah.
Khalifa. Burj
That's
Khalifa.
true.
Why?
That's crazy.
Jesus
Right.
Christ, that
He's
was a
he's climbing it
I'd
with
cry.
gloves.
I would
respect.
too.
Respect.
I would
That in
too.
itself.
Mind you, gloves. These gloves that are like on the fritz,
Yep.
and then
Yeah,
has
remember
to
he was like, yeah, he
Now,
was crazy.
you didn't see
Tarzan
behind the
swing
scenes, though,
himself
how they
into
did
the
it.
window. The Tarzan swing, like he makes a
Oh,
running
yeah.
jump to get back
What
to
was it?
the
Was it the
hotel
second
room.
one? The second one where he does the rock climbing
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
with no safety gear. He's just rock climbing and he
Yeah.
falls
Yeah,
and
free-
he catches
Yeah, it's
himself.
just free
and shit.
climbing. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Crazy.
In Fallout, he kind of
Insane.
does it again, somewhat.
I would
He
say
does.
watch the second
That
one
was
for
like
that
a little
opening
Easter egg,
scene
really.
and then just let it go. Like they,
It's like just push stop.
Yeah.
Right
No,
there.
no. Fast forward to some Fanny Noon. Just let's look.
Right,
look
right
at her.
after he throws the sunglasses, they explode, and the Mission Impossible theme starts playing. You can just shut it off, or already have the other Mission Impossible queued
Ready
up,
to go.
and then have that music play right into the start.
Oh, nice.
Well,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
you know
yeah.
And just
Dino
just
agrees.
assume that we've had like a 6-year time jump all of a sudden. It's like the
Yeah.
beginning of Mission Impossible 2 with the rock climbing, and then boom, 6 years later, and you're into Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah.
Time jump.
What happened during those 6 years, in between? What the hell, right? Was he jumping
He
on other planes or what?
He supposedly
Sure.
retired and started teaching IMF agents. That was the whole thing
yeah.
at the beginning
And
of
they
him.
wanted to
Seattle
get
with
him
his
back
wife?
in, yeah.
I forgot. I don't know. God.
And then
Yeah,
then
that
he
was the
then
third one, right?
he met his lady Julia.
Oh yeah,
Michelle
Monahan, right?
Yeah.
Monahan.
Michelle
Michelle-
Monaghan.
Yeah, who had a heat index because of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang in this film as well.
That's right.
And then just kind of disappeared also.
A little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
They bring her back for
She was
some
in.
movies.
She was in that
I tell
Shia
you what,
LaBeouf one.
though, she
too,
was
Shia
great.
LaBeouf.
Oh yes, that's right. The Shia
Michelle
LaBeouf
Monaghan
movie.
was great in True Detective season 1.
It's like something.
Michelle Monaghan played
The wife.
Woody Harrelson's wife. in
Eagle Eye,
True Detective
Eagle Eye.
season 1.
That's what she was.
Eagle
in.
Eye, right?
Eagle Eye.
But the
We always went to
babysitter
York one
took.
night. It was like
I love the
this
babysitter
mystery
in
movie.
the
Eagle Eye with
Remember
her
that,
and
Monty, the
Shia LaBeouf.
Is
babysitter?
that the one where you had the
Uh,
dog
the what?
watching
Alexa?
the neighbor?
the
That wasn't called
babysitter
that.
girl
Eagle Eye. It's-
that
give me a second.
that he
In
cheated
which
on.
movie?
The HBO one with Woody
Oh,
Harrelson.
yeah. He's like having
Daddario?
an affair with the hot young Alexandra Daddario.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Who's
Okay,
gone
but-
on to do some things? She started out like in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre
It's
reboot
right there.
that was terrible.
Yeah.
And then, but she
What's
did
it
better.
called
She
again?
did like bigger budget stuff. Did True Detective. She did Baywatch.
Right. And then
Exactly, Citizen Kane. But
I
she was
guess it
starting
was.
to get higher profile roles for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah. Well, all I gotta say is I would say, now call me crazy, guys, if you want, but I feel that Mission Impossible is kind of the U.S. version, the U.S. answer to the James Bond.
Of course.
It
Yeah.
is.
Of
franchise,
course, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I
I
got
think
if not
True
better.
Detective confused. Yeah.
I would basically say that, I mean, the series, when it was created, when Bruce Geller created it, probably, I can only imagine
He was
his thought
influenced.
was, America needs their own sort of James Bond thing going.
Yeah. You counter
Yeah.
MI6 what they do.
Yeah, we need spies too, guys. I get it. I totally get it. Geez, well, that's going to cut it, I think, for us. Really quickly, one more thing.
Well, before we leave, let's get some love to our 2 sponsors, starting with that beautiful Texas company that creates
Oh,
some
yeah.
delicious beer, Splattered Frog Brewery.
Let me play a little music here with this.
Yes,
A little spy music.
yes.
Or the Frogger theme song.
Texas. Hot Texas.
Texas.
It's very hot.
Texas
this summer
barbecue.
here.
But you know what? If you're eating some barbecue this summer, you can wash it down with some beautiful Texas-based beer. Splattered Frog Brewery.
And have some Half's hot sauce to flush it down.
Yeah.
Rob has a quick question. He says, which women challenges Ethan the most?
Well,
Ooh, good point.
Elsa Foss would probably be one for
Still,
sure.
say
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah. Kevin's right. I think I agree with Kevin. I think, yeah.
Ilsa, they make her out to be kind of truly sort of, and a lot of people brought up this point in different articles and stuff, is like the equal, like the equal to Ethan Hunt.
Mom and Dad are on. They said hi earlier. Everybody say hi to my mom and dad. I don't think I said that.
You never did.
Wow.
Shame on you.
Hi.
Everything was kind of
Hello.
falling
Wait
apart.
till the end of the
Shame
show.
on you for shaming on me. Hi, Mom and Dad. Goodbye. Thank you for viewing.
Ohio.
Gosh, Kevin.
Oh, quick question: are the lightning bugs in Ohio right now, or is that further south where you guys are from?
Oh no, we get lightning bugs all the time.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And I'm glad you called them lightning bugs and not fireflies.
Yeah, my ex was from Kentucky, so I know about them lightning bugs. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which part of Kentucky?
Yeah, that's what I call them too.
He was
Do
from
you ever
Louisville.
take
She was from
jars out,
Louisville,
Dom?
yeah.
Do you ever take jars out and try to catch some?
Yes. Have to cut them.
Yeah. Occasionally when I was younger, I used to just catch them in my hand, and then look and watch them glow.
You
And
know,
let them go. I never hurt them. Or like I know some kids would tear off their butts
Yeah.
and
Oh,
use
yeah.
the liquid to make their hands light up and shit. That's gross.
Ugh.
That's sadistic, and I never liked that. So don't do that.
Terrible.
So-
You know what? That's serial killer tendencies. That's where it starts.
They're harmless. They'll
Red
crawl on your
flag.
hands.
That's a
They
red flag
fly
right
away.
there.
They
Flag
go-
on the plate.
Always
Flag
starts
on the
with the
flag.
little.
That's a red
the
flag.
little defenseless animals.
Indeed.
I would keep them in jars that had ventilation on the top.
There you go. Smart move.
Almost
Oh yeah,
That's fair.
just
release them the next
That,
night.
Mom and
You don't
Dad
want-
confirmed the
Catch and
fireflies.
release.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're a
yeah.
good
Yeah,
man,
it is
Frank.
catch and
You're a
release.
good man.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
That's why we had a lightning bug recidivism rate.
Music again. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for being a
It was
part of this,
fun.
everybody. Frank, Jed, Monty, we appreciate y'all. Thank you for the audience for taking the time, and sorry about the delay with the technical issues.
Thank you,
Per
brothers.
usual with life. That's just the way it is. Thank you for tuning in, and perhaps if you're thirsty,
Perhaps you have a sparkling and sometimes impossible to drink. Pop.
that rumbles. It's Rumble Pop. Goodbye,
Rumble Pop.
everybody.